Hi, this is Thomas with Believe in the Run.
This is Robbie with Believe in the Run.
And this is Megan with Believe in the Run.
And you're listening to The Drop, our weekly podcast about all things running and whatever the F we want to talk about. And this week, we're going to go nuts. Meg's taking pictures of the dog. We may not even do a podcast. We might just take pictures of Ralphie wearing a Lagoon baseball hat.
Yeah, the F stood for freak in that sentence, by the way. Whatever the freak we want to talk about.
Frick is what the Aaron Azar would say.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Robbie, I got a question for you. Is this still a baseball hat?
The hat that you're wearing?
Yeah.
The Lagoon Pillows hat?
Yeah.
No. As I said, you look like you're about to raid a marijuana farm.
Narc? I'm not a narc. What would make you say I'm a narc?
If you told me that you took that from my grandfather's closet, I would be like, that checks out.
Yeah. A Fed definitely designed that hat.
Yeah.
As a side hobby.
Actually, I did give him feedback on the hat, so it might have been me. But anyway, my question is
Wait,
it?
Did you really?
Yeah, I did.
Thomas basically designed it.
Yeah.
You could be a Fed. I don't actually know.
Well, wouldn't that make sense? You're like, the drugs are in the shoes.
And your mate came up with the bird theory. It's like a reverse theory.
Speaking of the bird theory, I watched the TEDx. Somebody sent us the TEDx of the kid talking about birds aren't real and why he started it and the whole explanation behind, his experiment.
Yeah.
And it was actually kind of interesting how he flipped it around. But
okay,
you can go find out about that yourself.
You can watch it on.
But seriously, I'm asking.
Okay.
We call these baseball hats. Pretty much anything with a bill, we call them baseball hats because we're old.
Yeah.
But is this a baseball hat?
No, because it's a 5-panel.
So what do you call
baseball hats
it?
are 5-panel.
You just call it a 5-panel?
Yeah, or just a cap. I don't know.
A running cap? I
Yeah.
don't know. Okay.
Yeah.
I think I would just call it a hat. I like your hat.
I think a hat's okay. I think a baseball cap, it looks like you're going to play a ball game. That doesn't look like you're playing a ball game, as I've said.
It sure doesn't.
Okay. All right. So we've settled that this is not a baseball hat.
People listening are losing their minds.
Yeah.
They have no idea what's
Yeah.
happening right now.
But also people, you have to understand, Robbie here is probably you're a big baseball fanner.
Yeah, huge.
Yeah. And this is like your
Oh, I'm losing my mind right now.
glory days. How long have you been? So regardless, I know everybody has their teams and we're not going to talk crap on anybody else's team, but really the drought for the Orioles has been epic, like since the 80s.
Oh, since a World Series win?
Not even a
1983.
World Series, just having a good season.
Well, I mean, 2014, they went to the playoffs, 2012 as well. So, and it's been, and they had like a 1-game wild card playoff 2016.
To be a fan,
Yeah.
I can only think of one fan base that has had it as hard as you. And
It's been pretty bad. I mean, obviously everyone knows the Red Sox had that horrible 100 years of solitude, but it's been, I've been such a hardcore Orioles fan since I was a kid that this team is like a magical, it's all young guys, feels amazing. They're always coming from behind to win. I'm a huge baseball fan. October is coming. The Orioles are in the playoffs. We talked about this. I mentioned it earlier. I wasn't drinking. I'm still haven't been drinking. It's been a month for the New York City Marathon training. I was thinking about it the other day. The Orioles are going to the playoffs. I'm definitely draining my bank account to go to the playoff games. I'm definitely getting hammered at the playoff. There's no doubt about it. I will be yelling, screaming. Hopefully not the day before a podcast, 'cause I won't be able to talk.
see, I see Robbie in a few years carrying like the ring, like notebook
Oh yeah.
and writing down all the stats of the players as they are up.
Oh, I've actually. You mean
You already have that?
I don't, but I'm definitely gonna do that. Like get into that. The scoring.
That makes sense.
He'll probably get a special pen and it'll be like, screw this electronic thing. I'm doing it manual.
Oh yeah, I love it. But
DJ,
so
the
it's
boys
exciting.
seem to like it. Your kids seem to like it.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't love to go to an Orioles game
I mean,
too?
when we used to take
Great
the boys,
ballpark.
we were there for 5 minutes.
I like going to the game, but baseball bores me.
Yeah, I will say since they've instituted the pitch clock, it's a lot more exciting because you don't have to wait so long between at bats. It's only 20 seconds. So it goes really quickly. And like the pace is
All right,
way
maybe I
better.
got to go back.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's always something going on. There's none of this batter stepping out, pitcher,
I also like becoming a fan once we're good. So that works out.
I really love the bandwagon.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump on that.
Look, I get it. The baseball, especially, the season's so long that it's really
Right. There's so many games.
Yeah.
I don't
Like, I
understand.
feel like
how
you-
do they count?
You wait to be a fan.
Yeah.
It's like you could come in, be a fan at the season opener because that's exciting.
Yeah.
And then you don't do anything for a long time. And then you go back when they're winning and you're back. I've always been a fan.
But there's something poetic about it where you're starting with the spring, which is kind of just the, renewal of the seasons.
Boys of summer.
Yeah. And then it's through the days of, exactly, the Boys of Summer, which was named after a Dodgers team. 1954, and then it goes into October as everything's kind of like fading. It's a very poetic sport.
And then we get the football.
Yeah, which again, another crazy day and a great day in Baltimore because the Ravens won.
Yeah,
so.
but you like a team from Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I mean, I'm from Pennsylvania. I didn't really become a football fan until I was in college, so I went to school near Pittsburgh, and so came up.
Oh, you guys won last night. I wasn't sure. Didn't
Yeah.
stay up for that one.
Anyways, so that's everything but running talk.
Yeah.
And we're going to take it one step further because you said you're not drinking, but a gentleman from Canada.
Yeah.
Robbie,
Our neighbors to the south.
what did he send us?
Our neighbors to the south. Okay.
The Mexican Canadian.
Okay.
Although if you fly south from Detroit, the first country you would go across is Canada, which is an interesting tidbit of fact.
Okay.
Yeah. Because it's like just barely the edge of it goes under.
I think you can run from Detroit to Canada.
Isn't there a marathon that goes through?
There's a bridge that goes over.
Something like that.
Probably not anymore. But anyway, so somebody sent us a few bottles of
Miles,
ice wine.
right?
Yeah, Miles.
He's got his name's right there.
Oh yeah,
Miles Cameron.
Miles with a Y. That matters if you're running.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
And also we have a friend who named their baby Miles.
really?
Yeah, Taylor and Dave.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. They are runners, so it makes sense.
I think theirs is intentional.
Probably.
They were going to name him Fartlick, but didn't have the same
Fart didn't have the.
didn't have the same ring.
Yeah. So he sent. I'm not going to read the whole letter, but he sent us a letter that was printed out, which I just got a new cartridge for my printer, so I'm excited to use that.
It's like freedom.
But anyways, he said, since you have every running accessory imaginable, I found myself unsure of what would make a suitable gift. Then why not send something distinctively Canadian? And he said nice things about our content in the running community, which I feel awkward saying on air.
You don't have to say it.
Everyone here knows what we do for the community.
Yeah. We're here to make it a better
We're
place.
here to make it a real shit show.
But you can't go wrong with alcohol as a gift. So thank you, Miles, because
I'm still waiting for Des Linden
we're
to
gonna
send
have
us some bourbon.
Wait, but do you know what you're supposed to do with this? Mix it with vodka and make a Canadian.
Well, that's a Canadian martini. That's what he's recommending.
Yes, which I think that sounds great.
I'm ready. You're leading up to Chicago Marathon.
Yeah.
Which is in a shocking 3 weeks.
I'm not sure how we got here. Feel a little bit crazy that it's so soon.
Oh yeah, just 100-mile weeks all the time. That's how you got here.
Oh.
But so we're getting ready to go to Chicago. Are you gonna try a ice wine martini before we go?
TBD on that one.
Okay.
We'll see.
And he has it. I'm not going to say his email, but it's a normal email address, which I was kind of disappointed because I wish it was an AOL address. You know, when people go nuts on that.
Yeah.
But it's just his name. So, but yeah, thank you, Miles Cameron. Which honestly, if that could have fooled me, I thought maybe that was the Prime Minister of Canada. Doesn't that sound like a Prime Minister?
How do we know
It
it's
does.
not?
He's related to Cameron Diaz and the director.
Miles Davis.
No, that one. He's not the director though. He's a jazz musician, I believe.
I think it's Yaz.
Cameron, the guy who makes all the movies.
Kurt Cameron.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Okay, what is happening?
Kurt Cameron from Growing Pains.
Yeah.
James Cameron.
Yeah.
Titanic.
There you go.
Avatar.
Let's blow some stuff up.
It is kind of weird that James Cameron did Avatar and he did Titanic, but then he also did Alien, right?
Yeah.
That's a very, very different kind of movie.
I don't know if he did the first Alien. Oh, jeez.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you have to look that up. He did one of the aliens.
All right.
I'm not looking it up. We're getting off this topic.
All right, running. Yeah.
All right, running. So, Megan, you had a phenomenal run last week, 22 miles, and you decided to get a little nuts at the end of it and bust out a 640 mile at the end there.
Was this on a Wednesday?
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's running really well. Of course, her easy pace is like 7, what?
I don't know, mid-7s.
Yeah, mid-7. And she's feeling good that day. Throws down a 640 for her final couple miles. I don't know what it was.
It wasn't that fast. It was
Let me
not
pull
an
it up.
issue.
Wait
You're
a second.
gonna make me pull
Robbie,
this up.
it wasn't that fast.
Meg's being humble, so I'm gonna have to pull
No,
it up.
I also don't remember, but it's like you're making it sound like I did something crazy and I didn't.
You didn't, but you did.
To me, to everyone sitting at this table, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, what happened, Meg?
Well, towards the end of my long run, I was definitely dehydrated because it was one of those like weird cooler mornings where I didn't realize that I needed to be drinking water until the second half of my run. And by that point, it was too late.
And it was one of those mornings where electrolyte's not our sponsor anymore, so you didn't have that.
Well, I still have that, but
Okay.
I was carrying Scratch with me. And
Have you tried the Element Tea?
not for during run, but post run, yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, I was feeling great, but also sweating profusely and clearly dehydrated by the end. And I felt like in my calf, almost like the beginnings of like a cramp, like a muscle cramp. But nothing ever came of it. So I didn't think much about it and went on with my day and was totally fine. And the next morning I went for my 10-mile run and ran the whole thing, but it felt off. And then as soon as I stopped running, I could barely walk.
Oh.
Because my calf was like just
Inflamed.
so tight and it felt like someone punched me right in the calf. So then
Which I did not.
I took some Advil and iced it and like it felt fine throughout the day. So I was like, oh, I'll go for my second run. And then I tried to go for my second run and then I realized that was a big mistake. And so was talking with my coach and he was like, stop running for a couple days.
Okay.
Which
So you did the 10 and then a 2-mile run.
She
that
did.
was supposed to be 4 that I just cut short.
And then you took 2 days off and did a treadmill test.
Mm-hmm.
Did that feel good?
That felt great.
Oh, okay.
In between then, she did Epsom salt baths, massage,
Yeah.
the whole thing.
Everything.
So yeah, like, but here's the thing
Did you do the Arnica? Did you do the
I did.
You
I
did.
did. I
Yeah.
sure did.
Arnica gel wrap.
Arnica and Voltaren
And everyone-
to the rescue?
And everyone's like, it's 2 days, like it's no big deal. But
To her.
there was a key workout in there, like the biggest one that we would have had for this whole block. And I know it was only 2 to 3 days, but it's 35 miles that I missed, which is substantial.
Yeah.
So I'm trying not to let that totally derail
But
my
what-
mindset.
Okay,
of
let me
things.
think. When you were training for a marathon before, what would be your peak week?
Like 80 miles.
Okay, so
I know I've done way
I
over
mean,
that.
collectively,
yeah.
you've really
Here's the thing.
blew that out of the water.
She's definitely fit, and even her coach said this is nothing to worry about. But what I do love about Megan having a coach, and I'm going to give Castor a little bit of some love here. Coach Castor is your coach, not Dina,
No.
but her husband.
Yeah.
And Andrew
Dennis.
Castor.
I'm just
Yeah.
Dina and Dennis. That would be a good
Yeah.
good matchup.
That's a good name for a band too.
Andrew Castor.
Andrew Castor. Because here's the thing, Megan in the past, I don't know that you would have taken the break. I think having someone and being accountable to a coach, you were like, okay, I'll take the 2 days off. I think that if it had been you and you'd woke up the second day and it felt a little better, you would have gone full hog wild. But
Sure.
this time you used patience, and I think it paid off, and I think it was huge. 2, he's gotten you to run the way that he set you up for this marathon. You are in an excellent place to continue the training. Like, I know that it was a key workout, and psychologically, it probably would have been great for you. But I think he's 100% right where he was like, look, this is...
It also was kind of like icing on the cake that it was the most beautiful weekend ever. And it was like 50 degrees in the morning and I couldn't run outside. Like that was devastating.
I will say, so when I went for, Robbie was there too, but on Saturday, I did a course preview of the Baltimore Running Festival half with the Faster Bastards, A Tribe Called Run, and the Believe Run Club. We all got together. Talk about a fun crew. It was like, it's so much fun because I think sometimes with Faster Bastards, because of the name and the look, we don't get some varying paces. We only get like some of the higher, faster paces. Believe Run Club is a bunch of young guys and girls, and they're fast. So we don't see like the community doesn't like people come and maybe then they don't stick around. And the thing is, if people would come and stay, we could create those other paces. But people, I think, feel like they don't, I don't know, self-select. I wish they would, but Tribe has a very welcoming pace group. They're supportive of everybody from, they've got faster people and they've got people that are running, more party pace. Pace.
Fast for them. I mean, obviously
it's relative. Yeah.
So, but like 12-minute paces. Even.
Yeah. So it was so much fun to have everybody together and kind of do it. And the weather was so perfect. Like it was blue skies, sunshine.
It's like
cool temps, low humidity.
If that was actually race day, it'd be pretty. You can't ask for too much better in October.
You would have found me in a gutter after the race because it was it's party. It would have been party on
for sure.
But yeah, and what I was gonna say, real quick, is I didn't want to rub it in because Meg couldn't run.
Yeah.
And I was supposed to do a 60-mile run, and I ended up running 17 just because it felt good. And I was like, I'm still a mile out.
I get it.
And I went, and so I was like when I came home, I was trying not to be like, it was terrible. Okay. Yeah, it wasn't bad. Yeah.
The hills were terrible. They were. They always are. But it
doesn't show off the best parts of Baltimore. Let's just say that.
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely getting the full Baltimore experience running the half marathon route. But I was supposed to meet up with you and I was supposed to do 18 that day, and then I set my alarm for the wrong day. It was an alarm that was set for Wednesdays. I'm not sure why, but I didn't get up until like 7:15, and the run started at 8. Mm-hmm. Your run started at 7.
Yeah.
So yeah, I basically turned into an impromptu down week for me
So you didn't see. I actually think this is something good about Robbie. On the other hand, you don't get too hung up on, like, if you were supposed to do an 18-mile day and it doesn't work out, you don't freak out about it.
Yeah, I mean, I would say I feel like I could have one day, and I did 11 miles with you guys, so it wasn't
nothing,
not a long run, but I can. There's enough leeway where I can do 16, 18, 20.
Yeah, you still have plenty of time.
Yeah, I can still get in like 5 really long runs, so I'm not too worried about that. Now, if that happened like 3 weekends in a row, not good.
Right, but you don't get hung up. Like I will say I've gotten more relaxed about it.
I used to be. I think I used to be like that, but
like I probably would have been like, screw it, I got to just do it.
Yeah.
But
maybe if I had a very specific goal, was like what Megan's doing, nailing like all those things, and then I would probably get hung up about it. But I feel pretty good. And then I mean, I went after work yesterday and running around here. And I was gonna do 6, but then I just did 8 because it was
beautiful.
So nice.
So nice out.
Like, and I felt, when you feel good, you're just like, like you're talking about, might as well just keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's also how people get injured.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, but I wasn't running. I was just running.
In this particular case, though, when I did I had calculated, I got too many miles done before the run, and so I needed to run back. Anyway.
An extra mile or two is not going to hurt anyone. Yeah.
Yeah.
You would have loved the route I did if you had come with me, because I ended up just looping around the Rash Field, like it has a loop.
Yeah.
Because I was waiting for everybody. I was like, well, as long as I'm waiting for everybody, I just keep running.
Some miles in.
Yeah.
Did you smell that dead animal at that one point?
I thought that was a person.
Okay, I did. I was teasing you there. I think it was. I went to see what you would say. I think it was too. Honestly,
it just had this really distinct.
It was so bad that I almost think it had to be a person because it was so
Where
strong.
was that? Was on the way back on.
How do you know what a
Maryland
dead
Ave?
person
Yeah.
smells like? Oh wait, you
And I haven't smelled a
He's
dead
killed
person,
a bunch of people.
but I
forgot about his dream job back in the day.
but no, but yeah. But I would say when like on my parents' farm when a cow dies and they put it like back in the field, it smelled like that's like a large animal and it smelled like that bad. Like how you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, it was Keith who I was running with, like literally almost he dry heaved and almost threw up. It was so bad.
I gotta tell you, Keith, man, is a trooper because that dude's coming back from like zero running. I think, you know, he's a soccer dad, and he's like coming
pretty
back,
busy.
and he comes out, and his face, like the first time he came back, like it was so red and so sweaty, like you could just tell it was painful.
Yeah.
And he just hangs. He doesn't say a word.
We had a good time.
Yeah. All right, first check-in. How we feeling today? We rolling? I hope you're doing these cooler temps like we are because they feel magical. It's hard not to like start pushing the pace and going fast on every run when it feels like this, but chill out a little bit. Make sure you're keeping your easy runs easy. And then when you have hard runs, you'll be able to have that extra energy to really push and hit those numbers that you're looking for race day.
Later that day, I had to go to a funeral, and which by the way, there was like over 1,000 people there.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah, and I'm like, how do I make that happen for me? And do you need to go out earlier to make that happen?
Dude, you'd have to give out swag at mine.
And B, yeah, but they it's kind of messed up that you don't know.
You mean because you're dead?
Yeah. What's up with that?
Yeah.
I mean, you know who's going to be there.
No, you don't.
You don't really know
No.
though. And I want to know who my real friends are, my fake friends and stuff like that.
Okay.
Wait,
But-
what do they say? Real something from my...
Are you going to fake your death? Is this what's
Don't-
happening?
Don't put it past me.
What do they say? They say,
Don't give me any ideas.
We just watched that It's Always Sunny in Philly episode.
yeah.
Oh, nice.
Anyway.
Yeah, but and even more impressive than that many people showing up was that Chick-fil-A catered it.
Oh,
And
maybe that.
That is it the chicken or the egg there?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
And
Robbie, I know that we could get at least most of the faster bastards to your funeral.
yeah.
If I throw in some Chick-fil-A, Jarrett will come.
Oh yeah, he's there.
Yeah.
Make it Ekiben, and then the whole city of Baltimore will show up.
That's true. Like, how big do you want this party?
Yeah. I don't know. Let's do it not at the Believe in Run headquarters. It's too small.
What about Mobtown?
Yeah,
or
we
do you
could
want to do
it
it at Ministry of Brewing so it's kind of got a church feel?
Oh, that actually would be a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could be into that.
We could also, they do drag queen trivia.
Yeah, we should definitely do it at the
That
same
night.
time.
Okay.
But then but I thought, man, can you imagine McDonald's tried to cater that? It would be a disaster. There'd just be a couple fries laying out, like
I didn't know
maybe
McDonald's catered.
Yeah, I'm not sure they do that.
I don't think they do, but imagine if they did, how bad the efficiency would be. Chick-fil-A, there was never a lack of chicken nuggets on that table. It just it was like Jesus turning water into wine. Like the chicken nuggets just kept appearing.
That's amazing.
How
Yeah.
long did you sit there eating them?
Well, I got a pretty full plate of them my first go around, so I was, good on that end. And then, might have had a chocolate chip cookie afterwards. But
Okay, I'm not used to going to funerals where you eat.
yeah, I guess it just depends. It was.
This sounds like more of a party.
afterwards, it was
1,000 people.
Yeah, they had a big tent in a grassy area.
Are you sure you were at a funeral?
Yeah, it wasn't a rave.
He's at a carnival.
Yeah. Oh, if you had a dunking booth at my funeral, I'm in. I'm coming back from the dead on
Would
that
it-
I
one.
was going to say
Would-
you're there.
Would we fill it with holy water?
Yeah, I'm
It's
filled
like
with any kind.
baptisms.
Fill it with any water. I don't even care.
Ice wine.
I'm in it. Just set me in there doing a back float. Oh, do the funeral pyre in the Viking thing. Do that in a dunking booth for me. That would be the best way to go out.
Yeah, Megan, I really want that funeral pyre.
Okay.
But when we were talking about the funeral pyre before, and like how we wanted to go out, somebody, John Ober sent me this.
Is there a place you can do it?
No, but there's like another thing that's called, It's basically where they put your body on top of a mountain and then just let people who are listening to this.
Yeah.
It's
Enjoy your run.
You basically let the birds have a field day.
Oh my gosh.
And that's like I don't know if that's honorable or dishonorable.
I don't like it. I do not like that.
I would think that would be dishonorable.
I just thought it was interesting that was a
Plus,
thing
who
that
wants
happened.
robots eating your body?
Yeah. Anyways,
Can we get off the death
that's a good
subject?
dive.
It's
All
a
right.
real downer.
Well, it is a downer.
Do you have a point?
No, it's mostly about the Chick-fil-A
Okay.
efficiency of Chick-fil-A. Sorry,
What a way to get
but
there.
it was.
Oh, you know what I did on Sunday? Because Chick-fil-A is closed. I figured it was a good time to run through their drive-through and get it on my maps. Because I like maps on Strava.
Oh,
So, normally that thing's got a line through it. You can't run through there.
yeah, never.
So now on my map from Sunday's run, I have a Chick-fil-A drive-through, and I even call it Chick-fil-A on a Sunday loop.
Oh, there you go. That'd be interesting when like a weird ultra marathon to do
24
it through the
hours
Chick-fil-A.
When they close on Saturday
Yeah.
to when they open on Monday.
I have to actually do something like that.
That would be rad. And if we get Chick-fil-A involved, maybe they'll feed you nuggets while you run around.
No, they
Not on
won't.
Sunday.
Not on a Sunday.
No,
Yeah.
but they would. Oh, yeah.
Well, when I was
You could get a competitor to feed you.
when I was in a
Taco Bell.
when I was in the band and speaking of Taco Bell and Chick-fil-A, when I was in the band and our van ran on vegetable oil, vegetable grease, we had always
That's a great smell.
yeah, it is at first and then not when it lingers. And then we would have to get it out of the dumpsters at restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
So Chick-fil-A was the best, because they changed their grease a lot. So like McDonald's and Wendy's, all those, they just let it cook. So when your fries are like dark, that's how you know that they don't change their grease. But Chick-fil-A always
I
does.
like the dark ones.
Really? Yeah. Interesting. And so they have clean grease, so we would always just go on Sundays when they're closed. So we didn't have to ask permission to just take it. And interesting, Taco Bell also has very clean grease. But every other fast food restaurant is horrible.
I'm trying to think of what gets fried at Taco Bell.
I think that's why is that there's not too much frying going on there. But yeah, so if you ever own a van that runs on grease, there's your pro tip.
Speaking of vans, I was driving today, and I saw, what ices are with the polar bear and it's like a Slurpee, but it's called icy.
Yeah.
Driving behind one of those vans, and I've done this before, and I've always noticed they have ladders on the top of their van, like
But
7-foot ladders.
It's not an ice cream truck, right?
No, I'm going to show you. It's a maintenance vehicle.
I know what you're talking about. Oh, I think that's why, right?
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, but you need a 7-foot ladder to give maintenance to an icy machine?
I mean, I could see that happening.
Okay.
What if it's on a...
Yeah, where you don't know where all the icy machines are. Maybe they're up high.
Well, I mean, if the icy machine's above the ground, like a soda machine, you would have to if you need to get into the top of it, wouldn't you need a ladder?
Yeah.
7 foot? I'd need like a step stool.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's... You can... If you just have space for a ladder, just carry a ladder.
All right.
I think that's a good rule for life.
I thought it was sus. That is a good rule for life.
Just carry a ladder.
Yeah. Okay.
How many times have you wished you had a ladder with you and you didn't?
Like 5.
Okay.
No, there's been so many times at our house, like when we need to fix something and we don't have a ladder, and you had to go borrow Robbie's, not this Robbie, but the other Robbie.
Yeah, but now I
million
bought
times.
a ladder and I have a ladder.
Yeah, and do you use it quite often?
I get
have
so
it.
scared every time
I
he gets
have
on that
used
thing. I'm like, this is it. This is how it ends.
Thomas at high speeds and heights, not
Yeah,
good.
neither of those are good.
Yeah.
Staying in my lane. Speaking of high speeds, so Robbie and I got sent electric bikes.
Okay.
They're motorcycles.
The company's called Engwe, ENGWE.
I thought it was engine.
It might be in Chinese. It's a Chinese brand, so that might be the word for engine in Chinese. I honestly don't know.
So we don't really review
I guess I could just
bikes
say what this-
or motorcycles. So it was interesting. And this is this second or third time we've been asked if we'd like an electric bike or motorcycle. And this time we're just like, you know what? Screw it. We'll review it. And We got sent 2. Robbie got one, the 24, and I
Uh-huh.
got the 26. And what's the difference between them? The wheel size?
I believe it's just the wheel size is different. Everything else is maybe the frame's a little bit smaller on the 24. So it's called the X24 and the X26.
I love this thing.
Dude, it's like a fat tire. I'm still trying to okay, first off, I'm still trying to figure out how we're going to review this, so to
I
speak.
think we're doing it right now.
Okay.
We just transcribed this.
One of them. But it's a fat tire e-bike.
E-bike, but you don't need the pedals.
Yeah, you don't, but you can get more speed.
So this is not meant for like city riding.
Oh, it is.
With fat tires?
I mean,
Like
it's
motorcycles have fat tires.
Yeah, it's just
Okay.
meant for everything.
Okay.
But I will tell you, you could, like, I want to take it with Robbie out on the trails. I did a whole video. I can't export it because it takes too long. But I did a video of just riding from our house to the office.
Uh-huh.
I'm having a blast because you can.
Well, obviously, yeah, it's a freaking motorcycle. It's
you,
cool.
But you get to straddle. It's like you straddle 2 worlds. You can be a bicycle,
yeah.
so you ride in the bike lane and disobey all traffic laws,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can get in the road and it goes 30 like without modifying it. And I want to modify mine so it goes faster, but it goes 30 miles per hour.
Yeah. It's pretty fast.
Yeah, in the
That's-
road.
in the city. That's
I feel
fine.
like you love this because I told you could not get a motorcycle, and now you basically have one.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah.
this is why he's excited.
I get it.
Yeah.
he smiles at the camera impishly, but so yeah, that's what's confusing for me though, is that when I'm riding it, I can't in my mind I can't figure out if I'm supposed to be
Bike laning?
which mode I'm in,
Or in
because
the-
when I ride a bike it's different than when I ride a motorcycle, which I haven't done in a while, but it's just different than like you're doing different rules. So then when this bike is a combination of the two, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be doing.
Do you wear a helmet?
I do, yeah.
See, that's the other thing I love. It's
I
like,
have
just
to
go-
wear I have to wear a
I go
helmet.
naked
Like,
head.
It's just like if I go 30 miles an hour into a telephone pole, it's not going to be good.
See, I try to avoid the poles.
Yeah,
But
but you can't avoid the potholes, which is like a pole with more letters in it.
that is, yeah, it's all there.
So, and that could be disastrous. But I do think we should go. I know a place with trails in the city, not too far from us. We can rip around on. It'll be fun.
I think we do some
There's
live,
some creeks,
live reporting. Creeks?
creeks and trails. Yeah,
Are you sure you don't want to ride on the back, Meg?
Yeah, I'm out.
I'm pretty sure the creeks are like straight sewage, just at the bottom
Oh,
of Herring Run. But
gross.
whatever, just wear long pants.
Yeah. Well, here's the crazy thing: is it does have somewhat of a back seat.
Yeah,
Like you could have pen, but I had I put the boy on the back,
the boy,
the big
So
one.
What are we in the out of the road?
Yeah, and it doesn't have foot pegs or anything, so it kind of just had to hold his feet
Yeah.
out there.
Don't get those feet in the spokes.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
At least there's no exhaust pipe for it to burn his leg on.
That's what happened to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because back then, yeah, you just had, it's kind of like back in the 80s and like all metal was just hot all the time. And for some reason it was everywhere.
Yeah, it was either hot from the sun
Yeah.
or hot from an engine.
Like, remember, like, I'm still trying to figure out how the metal slides on playgrounds were a thing.
Dude,
Oh my god.
that was awesome. 'Cause
That
you
was
had to
the
go
material.
fast.
They went crazy
Yeah,
fast.
but you
Okay.
burned yourself
But that was
every
a-
time.
Okay. Do you see-
Legit burn.
Yeah.
Do you see my teeth?
Yeah.
How this one's a little shorter?
Yeah.
Okay. So when I was a kid, you know how they tell you not to climb up a slide?
Yeah.
So I was running up one of those metal slides.
Oh, yeah.
My foot slipped and my face slapped into the thing, chipped the tooth.
Nice.
So the dentist had to, and when I got braces, they kind of pulled this tooth down, but it's
Yeah.
still not perfect. And then they put like a plaster thing to even it out,
Uh-huh.
but then that thing got chipped off. I forget how that happened.
Real George Washington over here.
Wait, okay, so that was that Gillis comedian where
Oh,
he's like
Shane
talking
Gillis?
about, he was talking about his tour of,
Oh.
of Washington. So it's like they end with his teeth. And he goes, there's slave teeth, there's animal teeth. It's got like a whole, and it's like, you should have started with that and then said all the nice things, but you leave. And that's what you.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
That's so yeah, slides back in the day though, they were, I just don't understand why wasn't plastic was a material at that point in time, right? Or was it?
We save
costly?
plastic for the more important things like Barbie houses.
Yeah, I mean those playgrounds were sturdy though. Nothing was.
Yeah,
Dude, we didn't have
them.
like you go to now, the kids have like soft chips underneath.
And
like
even
we
that-
played right over cement.
Even then, I went to the Orioles game a couple weeks ago, and they had people telling the kids not to run, and I was like, "It's a freaking playground. What are you talking about?"
That is weird.
that's what you do there.
Yeah, that's the point of a playground.
Yeah, it's to tire those kids out.
Like I don't know. I meant to write a letter to the Orioles about that. So
Yeah, how are you going to get future
Yes.
baseball players if nobody runs?
yeah, stay a fat ass. Don't probably take that out.
Slow down. You're not
All right.
taking that out. That was fine. I love Robbie getting some
Anyways,
dirt. Second check-in. We all need a Megan in our life. Someone who kind of, gets us back on track. Even Megan has a Megan, and this time it was Andrew Castor. But you need that person that keeps you in the lines and makes sure that you're doing things that are right. So if you don't have someone in your life that's telling you when you're swerving, you should probably look for someone. I don't know if that's a personal coach or just a friend or just somebody who can keep you accountable, but maybe think about that.
so here we are, and I feel like there's some other things we had to talk. Oh, let's talk about the Adidas shoe.
Yeah.
Because that was a big deal. Maybe the biggest deal since the Vaporfly. I feel like in terms of people's response to
And
it.
hype and all of it.
I can't think of a shoe recently that had as big a stir. There's a couple things. One, I think it's incredible the way that they were able to really reduce the weight on the shoe and get it down to something that is as light as it is, that is meant for the marathon. But I do not understand people getting riled up about the price because you don't have to buy it.
I mean,
and I feel like
you
people,
do understand, but also you don't understand.
I don't understand because, okay,
I
look,
understand
it's not
because-
democratized. It's not like every running shoe comes out, you should be able to buy. It's the same thing. Other industries don't have this. If you want to watch, there's not much difference between a Seiko and a Rolex.
Right.
Well, there's one big difference.
Are you going to say the price?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That, and you can't. I don't see people walking around being like, "What is Rolex doing? This is the stupidest thing. They should burn. Ruining the industry, the watch industry." Like people are saying,
Do you think it's because it's a thing that gets used so quickly? Like it's such a throwaway item that people care?
no, champagne is expensive. You drink it.
True.
Caviar is expensive. You eat
That's
it.
a good point.
Like clothing, a T-shirt.
Yeah.
You buy a Balenciaga T-shirt. There's no difference between that and
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I'm just saying I get why people are mad just because people get mad about everything. That's why I get it.
Yeah.
okay. But
I don't actually.
But we know
I agree with
like
you.
Jeff Dengate threw a hissy fit, and I'm like, dude, why?
It's interesting when people in the industry also get mad about it because I'm like, how this know
Works.
how the world works and how there's some things that are exactly as you said made for a different tier. The shoe is not, and I said this in the email. I think I was like, the shoe isn't meant for you or me or really anyone.
I'll run in it, but it ain't meant for
Yeah,
me.
if we get it, actually, I almost hope we don't get it because I'm like, it really isn't meant. Like it's just like I don't.
See, I'm on the opposite end. I want it. I want to feel it. I want to touch it.
Yeah, don't you want to be able to talk about it?
Yeah,
And-
but it's just like
Like, how could you not want it? Because we compare all the shoes to all the shoes, and if you're eliminating a mark on the scale,
no, I get it. Obviously, it would be fantastic to try it
Yeah.
out, but it's just the BS that comes along with it. But what you're saying that it's a different. It's not meant for us. It's meant for elites, and the other thing that, and I think I should clarify is that a lot of people think that they needed to release it for the World Athletics standards, which I was always in the didn't understand because obviously they're allowed to run some people are allowed to run in prototypes for races, which is kind of true, but also kind of not true. It was the rule in the beginning, but it had been amended a couple years ago to where it's like there is a prototyping period where you can run in a prototype. That's why you saw, what's his name, the Ingebrigtsen guy running in the Alpha Fly 4 or 3.
And then there's also, you saw somebody, it might have even been at the mile.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a streak fly or if it's a,
so you can,
or what it's going to be.
Yeah. So athletes can run in the shoe like in Berlin and everything. But there's also once the prototyping period is over, you do have to. So I'm not sure that's why or not. But anyways, all this to say,
let's look at the facts. There's 521 in the original release coming out.
Yeah,
available. Mm-hmm. My guess is they probably made 1,000.
Right.
And they've got some set aside for archiving, some set aside for athletes, some set aside. What's left is these 521 pairs that they're going to put out there, all numbered. Like, don't buy it if you don't want to spend that kind of money. Yeah. And the thing that, like, people think, oh, well, now all the shoes are going to get more expensive. Shoe companies are going to charge what the public will pay. Yeah. So if you don't buy $250 racing shoes, and you don't buy $275 racing shoes or $300 racing shoes, they won't make them.
Right. And the other, so in regards to that as well, and I wrote this in the thing on our website, if you think about all the development and prototype, we saw the 4 prototypes that Adidas sent back and forth to the factories, the in-lab testing, all the research that went into it. They're not making money on that shoe, even at $500 a piece.
Well, we also know from all the brands, like New Balance is not making their money on their race day shoes.
Yeah.
Fuel Cell is not, it's what we like. It's not what is driving their business.
Right.
1080s, 880s.
Yeah. Or the SC Elite doesn't do crap for the bottom line at New Balance.
Nike is probably the only one making money off their Elite shoe. Saucony. That's why you don't see Brooks spending tons and tons of money on race day shoes. Is the Ghost pays the bills.
Yeah,
so
sure.
When you have a business and you have to go and develop a new shoe for a very small amount of people, sink most of your budget into that shoe, like your testing, your research, and they're more expensive to make.
Yeah.
So what do you want them to do? It's like, I don't know that, at this point, Nike probably doesn't need to charge $250 for the Vaporfly because they're making enough of them and selling enough of them that it probably covers it.
Yeah.
But at this point, they have a market for it.
And with Adidas, I think one of the things, especially for this shoe and for a lot of the Adizero line, is the new CEO who came in place at the beginning of this year. I was talking to my friend who's works in soccer with Adidas, and he was like, basically he's like, they're moving away from the collabs and all the crazy stuff they do with
Yeezys.
Just like, obviously they're offloading the $1 billion worth of those still, but like moving more away from all that and like the hype machine into like, look, we're a freaking performance brand. Like, this is our legacy, our identity. And so it is like a huge focus of theirs just to put out the best, like come back to that. So I think that's a lot of what this shoe's about.
I also think it's a dangerous place for a company to play. Like, the public is fickle when it comes to fashion.
Yeah, for sure.
So like one year you could have, like, look now, like obviously the Yeezy problem is something that stems out of everything that Kanye did. But right now you don't necessarily want to be walking around in Yeezys because you're like, okay, are they budget Yeezys? Are they full strength Yeezys? Right. Or, the cachet isn't there. But the same thing happens, like, if you look at them most popular, like I look at like New Balance, the 990 was a running shoe, and they've developed it and it's moved into the fashion side, and it's still a classic, but it was developed from a performance shoe. So a while back, we talked to Gene McCarthy, and we were talking about.
Still one of my favorite podcasts, by the way.
Go back and listen.
It's
The
like one of our
dude
first
is a
ones.
gem.
That was episode 53.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gene, we were talking because he'd worked at one of the brands, and he mentions it in the podcast. I don't want to bring it up, but the CEO was asking for a shoe that was like a Chuck Taylor or a classic, a Stan Smith, a Chuck Taylor, a 990. And he's like, you realize all those shoes came out of performance. They were great performance shoes at the time that then got surpassed by other technologies, but then became fashion shoes.
Yeah.
And you even look at the Hoka craze, and that became kind of a fashion shoe. Like our sister-in-law was like, can you get me a pair of all white Hokas?
Right.
And it was it's the Clifton, or it wasn't the Clifton. It was
The Bondi?
The Bondi that everybody wanted.
Yeah.
All white Bondi that came out of performance.
Right.
And then transferred down. So I think it's really dangerous if you try to get into if you get too far into the fashion side and you start developing shoes, and if the fans get fickle and they go away from it, now you don't have anything.
Yeah, it's like you're trying to, if you're a music producer, just trying to like duplicate the pop song or whatever and try to make that. It never works. It's like you still need the talent, you still need the talent there. And yeah, I agree. I mean, it's something that the public needs to adopt. But yeah, in terms of the Adidas, I don't think we said the full name of the shoe.
No.
Adidas Adizero Adios Evo
Pro Evo.
Oh, fuck. Pro Evo 1.
Yeah, it's a little obnoxious.
Well, it's funny. Somebody said to us, it gets cringy that you guys always forget the name of the shoe. And I tell you,
someone told us to stop acting in the beginning. I'm like, that's not acting. I literally don't remember the name of the shoe.
Every time we get to a shoe, it's like we're like when we're holding the DV8 Nitro, we're just like DV8 Nitro,
right?
Like we don't think about it. But when we do a review, we got to say the full Puma DV8 Nitro.
Yeah, and I gotta love the armchair critics, but as if. Like, you tell me all the specs on the Topo Athletic ST4, and then also tell me all the specs on Nike Vaporfly, Flyknit, version, and then because people love just calling you out if you miss an ounce on
or say milliliter instead of
well, that one's sticking.
Millimeter.
That one's definitely sticking.
Yeah. And then the last one we did the 1080, and as soon as one person says fuel cell, you just go down the fuel cell.
Yeah, I just kept saying
line.
it.
And here's what they also don't understand. And now I'm talking down to them. Here's another thing, you peasant. No, the foams aren't the same. So when we say fuel cell or fresh foam, the fresh foam that's in the 1080 this time is not the same fresh foam X that was in the 1080 before.
And it's not the same as in the More Trail or the whatever. It's all different.
Just a marketing name for a certain line of New Balance.
You can have a fuel cell that's firmer than fresh foam, or a fresh foam that's firmer than a fuel cell.
Yeah.
It's just it's all relative.
And you in like one fresh foam X in this shoe is not the same as fresh foam X in the other shoe.
Yeah.
So,
but I really like that people not only called us out, but they're like, it's written on the shoe. It's true.
But it's not just written on the shoe. We also put it in the title. So clearly, but I love it. And we're going to probably start including mistakes and stuff just because what you don't understand is every comment that you leave helps us get more interaction on the video.
I will say that's the one good thing about Instagram and YouTube and everything is that if people hate, the more people hate on you, the more interaction you get, the more your profile is elevated.
Yeah. So
it's just $signs. So thanks for that, people.
Pull it off. But we're talking about the Evo 1 being on one end of the spectrum at $500.
Yeah.
And then we have our buddy Michael Krajic out in Texas making Atreyu shoes. Mm-hmm. And this dude keeps them cheap.
Yeah. I just realized in my activity yesterday, I put Atreyu the artist instead of the race model as we're speaking about misnaming shoes. It was after a run and I was like...
Well, the
original was the artist.
And when I first got this, I was calling it the artist too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think originally that's what I thought it was just going to be. it's the successor to the artist, so you would think.
Well, I think what he's trying to do is keep things he's always trying to keep things simple. Honor simplicity is even written on the back of this shoe.
Yeah.
And so he's like, what is this shoe for? This is our race model. The trail is the trail. The daily, is it just called daily?
The daily, yeah, it's the
Daily trainer.
daily trainer. Yeah.
So, Mike's keeping it simple. The only problem is it's horrible for SEO when we're trying to get people to find the shoe review.
Definitely. But so this is his, I'd say his, because it's really just Michael's the main brains behind the Atreyu, but I mean, they have employees, of course. But this is his creation, race day creation. It has, what's the midsole, Thomas?
So the midsole is a TPE foam, which is thermopoly elastic or something. Give me the P. What's it stands for? In the review, I'm putting this down because people are always talking about TPE, and this one actually has TPEE as part of the mesh upper, and then TPE foam for the midsole. Basically, what that is supercritical foam. It's not quite as responsive or light as a PIBA-based foam like Pebax. But it does a pretty nice job. It gets you close. And a lot of companies, before they go full Pebax, use a TPE foam. So like if you had the RC Elite 2, 1, and even I think the SC Elite 3 are all TPE supercritical foams.
Yeah.
And then you start to see that separation happen when people start using Pebax. So we got really excited about the Hoka Rocket X2. And one of the reasons was they went from a TPE style foam, supercritical foam, to Pebax foam, and it made a huge difference.
I mean, I think so. I feel like that was the first time Hoka came out with a race shoe that it felt like a race shoe.
Yeah. And it's one reason Mike's able to keep this shoe at a price of $120 versus more.
And if you're wondering, because I was like looking up some of what thermoplastic polyester elastomer
that's it
exactly is, but it's kind of like it's a new material in the last few years, and it's kind of a combination or that middle ground between TPU and PIBA. It's like it's not as like it lasts longer than PIBA, but it still provides more bounce than
EVA.
Classic EVA. Yeah, so it's kind of that middle ground in between the two.
To me, it's a slight compromise. It's cheaper to produce. It doesn't quite have the same energy return or bounce, but it will last longer. And that's where this shoe really came in.
Is there a carbon plate in there?
There is.
Yeah.
Full carbon plate this time.
And it's kind of like a drop-in plate, so it sits in a cutout within the midsole, as opposed to some shoes like you're talking about, Thomas, will have two pieces of midsole that sandwich the plate.
You see like the seam.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's an advantage. What I will tell you is, I don't know about you. Do you feel the plate in this shoe?
I feel like I never feel a plate. I don't know. I just like have a hard time. I feel the effects of it maybe, but.
Okay, so I was running in this morning just for fun. I was running in the New Balance SC Elite 3. And I can definitely feel the plate in that.
Yeah.
This one I struggled to feel the plate in.
Okay. Yeah, I'm like this is one of those shoes that really sits in that weird zone for me where I'm like, I think I love it, but then I don't. Then there's like other things where I'm like, I don't, but I think for $120.
I like it for, go ahead. I'll let you finish that.
I like it. And this is what I liked about the other shoe is that the Daily Trainer is that I feel like it kind of disappears on the foot. It's kind of just like it's very light and there's nothing to the upper.
This one weighs 8.7 for my size 10.5, which is a little bit heavy on the heavier side for race day. Still pretty light.
Yeah, but still. And I would say the upper on this is very snug,
I loved it.
which I love, which I actually really loved because that was the problem I had with the daily trainers, too much room and
Play.
But I felt like there was like one speed for this shoe, and when I was running faster, it didn't really have that like race day feel. But it's a great like daily trainer or if you want to go up tempo, yeah. But
To me, it reminds me of the New Balance Rebel.
yeah, that's actually a pretty good comparison.
And like, I love it for that. I love that shoe.
Yeah.
So the two that I would compare it to is the New Balance Rebel and the Puma DV8
Yeah.
Pro 2. Is it Pro?
Elite.
Elite.
Elite. Yeah.
See, it's hard to remember all the names. The Puma DV8 Elite 2, or actually even the one.
DV8 Nitro Elite?
Yeah, you got to throw the nitro in there. Thank you. See, people, it's not that easy. There's a lot of names thrown in. But it reminds me of that shoe a lot, which is a major brand's premium race day shoe. So Mike's not too far off.
Yeah, I mean, I think for $120, you got a really good shoe. I think apparently especially if you're an Atreyu fan, I think, and you're used to that, I think it's really, I enjoyed running in it for sure.
I think it works. I think we're spoiled.
Yeah,
definitely. We get to try all the premium race shoes.
Yeah.
If I didn't have budget for all the shoes that we get to try, this shoe handles stuff. It does a really good job of it. And my thing is, I would use this soup to nuts.
Yeah.
Like I would get one shoe.
Yeah,
for $120 and run this into the ground.
That's actually a good point. That is a great shoe if you just want a shoe to do everything in. I think you really can do everything in that shoe for $120. It's crazy. I hate the shoelaces on. I wish like throw them out immediately.
What about this stuff?
Why do you hate the shoelaces?
They're like impossible to tie. They're so floppy and flimsy that.
So Meg, this has
that feels like it wouldn't feel good.
It actually, it's really cool what it does. It's unidirectional fabric, so your sock will slide in nicely, but it keeps the heel locked in because it's got like almost little scales that are pushing down.
So, yeah, it's not bad.
So your sock stays in place.
Yeah, your sock stays in place. The fit, I love the fit of this upper, and
I agree.
They sent Jared a pair to try, and there's no way. Yeah, I was like, don't even mess up.
It's definitely a narrow, I would say, the Nike fit.
Yeah, it's the Nike fit, and it's race day fit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I in general like running in this shoe a lot.
Yeah,
because that we have access to other things, and that it doesn't quite hit the mark for a race day for me.
But if you're on a budget then you could definitely, and you're not like trying to have the Vaporfly experience.
Also,
which is not, it's a $120 shoe.
If you've got the legs for real speed, and you don't need as much help as I do to get to race day.
Yeah.
This shoe would be more than enough for you.
Yeah. Now here's the thing I have when shoes start getting into this is $120, which is still on the lower end of things, but we're now getting to the point in race day shoes where you can get last year's model of, say, the Vaporfly, or a lot of the race day shoes, say the Takumi Sen. You can start finding these shoes now for $150, $130 sometimes on sale, and it's like very hard for me I would just wait until there was a Thanksgiving, Christmas sale, spring sale, Labor, whatever. You can grab. It might not be the ideal colorway, but you can grab a Vaporfly for super cheap.
I love looking. You can tell when shoes are going on sale because we get a bunch of traffic when we first review a shoe. And then it like trickles in. And then when it goes to the sale, boom, the reviews spike up again. And we get all the DMs. They're like, hey, this shoe or that shoe, did you get that? I'm like, oh, they're putting all the race day shoes on sale.
Yeah. And, but you know what I'm saying? Like what
would you do?
It's hard for me to be like like if I were getting a true race day shoe, I would just wait until. I mean, even the Endorph, Saucony Endorph, yeah. Like
here's the
Endorphin
problem with
2 or
that.
anything
Like
that.
you're lucky if you can do that, and I guess you can always buy and hold on to. But like right now, you've got New York coming up, and if you didn't have a shoe for it, and you put all that time into training, are you going to care whether you save $100 or not, or are you just going to get the shoe that's going to make you feel the fastest on that day?
I'm pretty cheap, so probably.
Meanwhile, I'm going on StockX getting some Alpha Fly originals.
Oh man!
Wait, have you tried those for running yet, or are you saving them for?
No, I'm gonna do a workout in them.
Okay.
I
before
can't.
the
I
race.
shouldn't show you this, but can I show you? My wife found a photo of me for my first 5K.
Yes, please.
Are you wearing fashion shoes?
They might as well be. It was.
Okay.
I was wearing a pair of shoes I got from Goodwill that were these Nike. Remember the Nike Shocks?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Like those.
Oh,
they weighed
God.
about 16 ounces per shoe.
I know a girl that wore those. Like that was her choice. I was like, those aren't for running, and she's like, I like them.
I mean, keep in mind, I was still smoking.
Are they
at the
silver
time.
and black? Tell me they're silver
They're
and
white
black.
and navy.
Oh, damn.
But I was like at the time I was definitely still smoking. I think I finished my first. This is the Color Run 5K. Remember?
Oh yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
finished it in I think a cool 35 minutes. No big.
Did you feel fast that day?
Yeah.
Because I bet you that the general crowd at a color run is
I
not
thought
going for
You
time.
probably beat most of the
I
field.
thought that was a good time, and I told one of my friends who actually ran. She was like, "That's a terrible time." I was like, thanks for the honesty. She was the one that eventually convinced me to run, so
Yeah.
it all worked out.
Oh my
Let's see this.
goodness.
I got it.
It's so.
Yes.
It's so.
The
almost
knee-length shorts and
Oh,
the t-shirt
Wearing
of
the
the
race
color
shirt.
run.
the Courtney DeWalter, the basketball shorts.
Let me see
You
his
look like
facial
a
hair.
baby.
Let's see this.
I feel like I look better now. I hope I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
Okay. I was not in good shape.
That's not your best look.
You're yeah. That's okay.
Hey.
You got to give this to Brandon.
Okay.
so he can
And
put it
you
up.
you should also love on Kimmy for
Staying with me.
hanging in there.
Yeah. I only had to take like 2 walk breaks during that 5 days, so no big deal.
Final check-in. You know what? You should appreciate yourself. You are the one who got you out here today, got yourself running. You defied all the odds to be out here doing something good for yourself, getting these miles in. So, you know, it's okay. Give yourself a little pat on the back and then enjoy the rest of the day. You did the, what's it called?
Did you sprint
Galloway.
in the beginning? Like go all out? Please tell me
for
you
sure.
did. Oh, this is so
Did
good.
you see the shoes?
Yeah.
We zoomed in finally.
So bad.
The Galloway method for
Yeah.
the 5K.
No, it's more like the 10-year-old kid method where you just sprint really fast
yeah.
at the beginning.
Yeah.
Oh, when you have all those colors going, you can't not sprint.
Wait, how come there wasn't colors all over your white shirt?
Because that was the start.
Before the race.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah,
Duh.
that was can't you tell that's when I was feeling good?
Oh, wait, do we not have a post-race
do you know what's the
photo?
best? He probably just
Dang.
put out a cigarette.
No, I didn't smoke around my wife, so I didn't that morning.
Did you
so
celebrate with a cold one afterwards?
I'm sure I celebrate with a heater and a cold one afterwards. Yeah.
So good.
But yeah, those are the days of when I actually hated running.
So last week didn't you go to Death Cab for Cutie and
Oh yeah, that was
Postal
good.
Service?
Yeah, yeah, that was
See,
a good show.
And since that, I saw someone post a clip of them doing one of the Depeche Mode songs.
Oh yeah, all I ever wanted.
Yeah, and now I've just been on a Depeche Mode kick. Like I've been listening to all the
Nice.
old Depeche Mode stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I never really. It was funny because I bought Violator, I think, on tape in high school, but never really listened to it that much.
Personal Jesus.
Yeah. But it was cool that they covered that song at the end. It was a good show. Brought back some nostalgic feels.
I went to the Violator concert
Oh, nice.
in Meriwether Post, so same
Oh, really?
same venue.
That's cool.
And I will tell you something about Depeche Mode playing live was they have really good bass lines and like those like synthesizer bass ones where they'll hold it down almost like it sounds like an air raid.
Yeah, yeah.
Something like that. Like it would just shoot through your body. And then the light show and back then the visuals were pretty wild for, concert. And I just had a great time.
Early 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet that was cool. Yeah, that's awesome. It was a good show, and sometimes I feel like, which by the way, I think I don't know why we haven't had Ben Gibbard on the podcast yet.
Okay, Ben,
because
call
he is
in.
an ultra runner, and man, he really like looks good
Fit?
for like compared to the early 2000s when he was.
Is that because that's the picture of him in my head? I have.
Yeah,
I saw
totally different.
I saw Death Cab for Cutie in DC with what's the album that had the crow with the
Transatlantic.
yeah. I saw that one. And
that's the album they were doing.
Stars opened up for them.
Nice.
So
Stars.
we got Stars and that.
They're good.
And that was a small venue. That was a great show.
Yeah, they were still playing clubs back then.
Yeah.
But yeah, because he's been on the Free Trail podcast with Dylan Bowman because they both live out there in Washington.
Well, let's get him on.
Yeah.
Do all that stuff.
Megan, what songs do you like from Death Cab for Cutie?
That's a good question.
Is it a Taylor Swift song?
No, I don't know. I can't think of them off the top of my head.
Yeah.
I'd have to look them up.
It was really weird because I wasn't drinking and I was trying to find an NA.
That is really weird.
An NA beer, and you would think that they would have. I feel like they're popular enough now where most places have it.
I almost feel like it's kind of that thing. It just should be available.
Yeah, and I had to hunt everywhere, and at the last stand that I went to in the whole entire venue, they were like digging Heineken's out of I think just like a plastic cooler.
Like the Heineken
The
0.0.
NAs, which are terrible. It's like the worst non-alcoholic beer that's out there.
Well, I think it's funny. Heineken's doing a new ad where they're like, the Heineken, whatever it is, and they're like, no bitter aftertaste. I'm like, so your beer sucks.
Thank you. Now, Heineken's a bad beer to begin with.
It
let
is
alone
horrible.
A non-alcoholic version. I did have the Adizero beer, and it's actually pretty good. It tastes exactly like Budweiser, which isn't a great beer, but at least it tastes exactly like Budweiser.
I feel like all I need from a non-alcoholic beer is to make me feel like I'm drinking a beer.
Yeah, that's really all you need.
I don't care what quality of beer it is.
Yeah.
I just need, like, if you're out and you want to feel like you're hanging with everybody, a seltzer doesn't give you the same thing as a NA.
But trust me, the Heineken one is terrible. That's the only one that's really awful.
We were at the Woodlands, and the Heineken 0.0 was sponsoring it.
Yeah.
And I remember I was like, ooh, and I didn't know it was non-alcoholic. So
Nice.
they were giving away free ones. So I was like, let me get a couple of those. So I got like 3, and I'm walking out. Meg's like, those are non-alcoholic.
You're walking around acting hammered.
Yeah. No, he was like
I
all
had it
excited that he
open.
got all these beers. And I was like, dude, there's no alcohol in your
I was
hands
like, hey,
right
look
now.
at
You should have told him.
I'm like, they gave me 3 beers. And I'm like walking out, and she's like, those are non-alcoholic. And I was like,
Well, that's like out in Oklahoma. They make their beers like
Colorado does that too.
Yeah, they're like 3%. So I remember.
I think it's lower than 3%.
It's like 3.
Okay, because I was gonna say the Colorado ones. If you go to like a convenience store, they're like 1.5, and then you have to go to a liquor store to get the like regular beer.
It's 3.2%. So it's one of only 5 states that still sells beer with only 3.2% alcohol content. So all the breweries have to make beer
low
that's
alcohol.
3.2% for that state. So like normally it's 4.2 right
Okay.
here. So I remember when we'd be on tour, we'd be drinking, like trying to get drunk. I'm like, why am I not feeling it? I'm like 6 beers deep and not.
Wait, you're
feeling
telling me
anything.
that 4 point whatever it makes that much of a difference between?
I mean, it's
that?
25% less. So you have to drink an extra. Say you're drinking.
Okay,
You have to drink an extra beer per 3.
when I
feel
went
it,
to the
you know?
Metallica concert with Guns N' Roses, I went with a bunch of Canadian people, and I didn't realize there was Canadian Budweiser. And I don't know. Can you look up what the Canadian Budweiser alcohol content was?
Do you think it's high or low?
It was so high, I got hammered, and I didn't know.
Oh, it was like an ice beer, basically.
Basically, I got really, like, by the time Guns N' Roses came on,
Oh, that.
I was like wasted.
Accidentally.
Yeah, because it's like, you know how like when you're drinking beers at like a tailgate or something like that, it's kind of like you just crack one open, you drink it, and then replace that one, and
You're hydrating.
Yeah.
It says because of differences in labeling, Canadian brews appeared to be more potent than American beers, but it
That
looks
doesn't sound good.
It looks like they were actually the same.
No, there's no way. It was a higher alcohol content.
It sounds like you got roofied.
Here's why.
Maybe
this might be one of those urban legends. So here's why. It says in 21st century terms, there's basically no difference. American beer used to have its alcohol content labeled as alcohol by weight, and Canadian beer was labeled as alcohol by volume. So it seemed like it was higher, but it was actually the
exact same.
There's no way. I mean, I'd be blown away.
It says it was a negligible difference. It says it was 4.8% by the American standard and 5% by Canadian. So yeah, when I'm talking about when we were drinking those beers, 3.2 compared to 4.8 is a big. That's like almost.
And then you add that 0.02.
Yeah, not to mention at the casinos out in Oklahoma, they like on the reservations, they take a tax from you on every ante, which is insane. It's like every ante you do on blackjack, you had to pay a 50-cent like extra chip.
Whoa.
What?
Yeah, it was crazy. So like you're losing like just giving away, not even being able to win it back. You just had to ante up 50 cents every time.
Wow.
I like that. That's like that
Crazy.
song, Annie Up.
Anyways, so I don't know what's happening.
So
out
you're
in the
telling me I
Midwest.
wasn't Canadian wasted at the
Apparently that's
Metallica Guns N' Roses.
It's
I don't
it
know.
was,
You
you
were-
got placebo.
I don't know what
Or you had
happened,
something
dude.
else.
Maybe I got. There was a lot of weird smells in the parking lot.
Okay.
I don't know.
I mean, you could have just gotten wasted, and that's cool too.
That was probably it. Probably did just get wasted. That was probably the last real, like, rock and roll experience
I mean,
that I had. Like, there was all the stuff that, like, if you did a movie about that time period.
oh, there was probably like 35 Me Too moments that happened in the first 10 minutes.
Oh my God.
Like-
it was a festival of delights. It was insane.
I bet there. I'm so shocked. I'm not shocked, but I don't know how any of those bands from the 80s haven't all been canceled. But I think it's because everyone knows they were 100% complicit in the most debaucherous behavior in the world. So everyone just gives them a free pass. Like, yeah, we know they did the worst things.
We won't do it again. Never forget.
Dude, Motley Crue wrote about it in their book. Like the
Dude.
stuff that they confess to in the book, that they have a book called The Dirt. It's like unimaginable to like that could happen.
It will go down like in time. I think they'll be like, I can't. They should do movies about it. I don't know, but like Primus opened up, then Metallica played. Guns N' Roses decided that they weren't coming out for like hours.
That's their thing.
While they were doing the not coming out thing,
Yeah,
the audience turned into the entertainment.
I believe it.
And so we're in a stadium, the old RFK stadium,
Yeah.
and the cameras are just panning around looking for people in the crowd. The crazier stuff that was going on
Made it to the
made it to the
Jumbotron.
camera. And when I tell you crazy stuff,
Oh, I
like
believe
live shows
No.
Yeah.
going on.
I believe it. I mean, and that's what's night and day from that. Now they turn the camera away. There they
Right.
were looking it out, like
Yeah.
looking for
Well,
it.
also, like,
It's
you didn't
crazy.
nobody had like video cameras.
Yeah,
So it's like
you,
the behavior that you did.
you weren't going to ruin your life by
No,
doing something.
like now, if you did some of the stuff that I saw,
It goes on the internet right away.
yeah, Snoop Dogg would put it on his feed.
Yeah, you're a meme.
Yeah.
Anyways, all right. Well, bring back the 80s. Just kidding. Some of them.
I mean,
Some
there's
of the
parts
stuff.
of it that was great.
Yeah, some of the stuff was cool. It was like the extremes. Some great stuff, some not so great.
Yeah. Like, it's weird for me talking to the kids, like, when I say the kids, my boys, just the freedom that I had, and I didn't even know it. Like, I left in the morning, I came home at night, and that was the extent of my demands.
I know, man.
Different times.
Bring back freedom.
Well, it's not just freedom,
Right.
but it's like you had to entertain yourself.
Oh, we got.
All right, we got to wrap it up.
Yeah. Speaking of freedom,
makes closing
Laying
us
down the law.
freedom of speech, right?
I
Right to
do
freedom
feel
of
like-
speech is being denied.
Robbie and I are two wild kids in the pool, and you're the lifeguard.
Sorry, man.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So let's wrap this up. And Robbie, is there anything special you want to say to the people?
Nope. I was just gonna call Meg Wendy Peppercorn.
Oh, what's
No.
that?
It sounds bad.
That's a
Yeah.
great thing.
What is it?
That's from Sandlot. The lifeguard in the Sandlot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She was the one they all had a crush on.
Yeah.
But was she awful?
No, she was terrific.
She was the
Okay.
best. Yeah.
They had one guy fake getting drowning so he could
Oh,
get
yeah,
kissed.
yeah, yeah. Now I remember.
So now you know what to do next time, Thomas. Fake drown. Yeah. Anyways, nothing to, no one to thank really in my life.
That's terrible.
I loved it.
I think everyone's special in my life.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
If you're all
180
special.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. If we're all super, no one is. Yeah. All right. I'm going to say thanks to Brandon for editing this up and getting it out. Thanks to all of you for listening again. We appreciate it.
Yep. Hi, Mom.
Got some exciting stuff coming up for you in the next couple of weeks.
I can't wait to hear about it.
Yeah. Especially if you like oatmeal.
All right, whatever. I have been eating that. It's good. We'll talk about it next week.
Yeah.
All right. All right. That's it, people. Talk to you soon.